Okay, so yes, we are live. I am so excited to have these two guests in the show today. Um, they're both phenomenal individuals. An example of what it is to be a god and a creator here walking on earth. So, Georgina, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you. And how are
Ladies
you?
first. I'm super excited. How about you, Fabian? How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm great, man. I'm glad to be here, man. It's been a long time.
Like y'all don't even understand the energy that y'all about to experience with these two uh in this hour. We're gonna have a Q&A session at the end if you have any questions for the guests. I mean, we're all guests. This is not BamHek TV show. This is gods and creators walking on earth. That's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have that kind of conversation. And but before we start, I want us to take a brief moment and connect with a greater version of ourselves. So if you want to take some deep breaths with me, let's take 3 deep breaths. Empty your lungs, empty your lungs, and fill them up all the way in. And one more. And I am here, here I am. The doors that I open can no one close, and the doors that I close, no one opens. I open doors of clarity through this conversation, doors of humility, which give us the ability to be open and learn, words of cooperation. That's why we are here together, all three of us and everyone watching, because we're coming together in unity to share um, what it is to be a creator and a God here walking on earth. I open doors to unconditional love so that if anyone who's watching lacks that awareness of unconditional love, we open the doors for them to experience the love that is abundant, and we open doors to awareness so that we are aware of who we are in this space and time, and may clarity and truth is the main subject in this conversation, and so it is.
Mm,
So
Thank you.
appreciate that.
yeah, absolutely. So I know I've been away for a little while, and I said let me get back into this thing, but bring some backup. And who better than Fabian Morgan, the advocate soul, recovering liar. That's how
Here, 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 here.
and Georgina, by Align by G, such an inspirational person. Last time when we had her, Andrea and I at the I been the Obi podcast, she got a lot of traction. A lot of people wanted to hear more from her. Some people wanted to hear Fabian and Georgina tag team too. So, we made that happen. So Fabian, what you got going on lately? What are you up to?
Well, what am I up to? I've been a lot more active online. Uh, these videos that I've been making lately are just vomiting through me, man. It's I don't plan to make videos. I just get this urge to say something, and then it just starts to flow through me. And I think that's because it's time. Like I said, I don't move through any kind of with any agenda to be famous per se, or just to be active on the internet, trying to go viral. Um, and I have a thing that I always tell people that look, I don't make content. You can call it that if you want to, but there's no purpose behind what I do other than spirit speaking through me. So that's what I've been doing, man. So you might get 6 videos a day, or you might get one every week, depends on what the spirit wants. But how active I've been online is because of what spirit is doing. So
So when you say
yes, sir.
spirit, when you say
Yeah.
spirit, right, that's something that some might think like, what does he mean when he says spirit? I'm just allowing spirit to flow through me. Is that another part of you? Is that separate from you? Does it come to you? You say sometimes I have to let the words out. What does that mean in Fabian's life?
Right. Well, I guess the operative word is Fabian, right? Fabian is this thing right here, uh, and spirit would be my higher self, which is connected to the other side, which is spirit, because we're here in the physical. So when I get that inspiration, which is the name of my channel, it's the Soul's Advocate. You advocate for the soul, as we talked about before, and Fabian, the human being, I have to open my mouth and let whatever is inside come out, which is what the recovering liar is. I don't sit here and fix my lips and say what's politically correct or what you like to hear or talk to you nicely.
Yeah.
I don't care how you perceive what I say. I just speak from the soul. Um, and that's spirit and Fabian working together. Fabian is just a physical vehicle, and he advocates for the soul by being true to the soul and saying what the soul is telling it to say. I couldn't put that any better.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
So, Georgina,
Hmm.
what's up with you? We Georgina and I, since she came on the actually a little before she came in on the podcast, like we started obviously connecting to get acquainted before she came in as a guest, and we grew a beautiful friendship. It's been amazing to have the conversations that we've had. And So I have a lot of respect for G, and all she does for humanity. So and she's a busy mom too. She got a lot going on in her own
Yeah.
personal life, and she's making time to spread the message and let her light out. And What you got going on?
Since the last interview, I've been, to be honest, there's been a lot of growth and healing and like working on my like healing into like wounds, and I wanted to clear some stuff. So I've been really working on myself in the past. So what has it been like past 2 months? Whilst also raising the kids, which gets very, very busy. That takes up a lot of time. And, prepping for starting to spread the message and launch Aligned by G. So I've been working on that in the past 2 months, but as well as I'm taking, meditation and my practice and solitude really seriously so that I can make sure that I am fully connected with the other side and I can discern better and I can use my intuition better to move forward and to work in flow. So I've been focusing on that a lot in the past, well, since the our last interview. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome because a lot of times, and this happened to me, when before I started the channel. Like I always been very ambitious. Like I was very goal driven, and I wanted the million. I wanted the millions, and I wanted the cars and the trips and the. I've never been about fame neither. Like like Fabian was saying, but I wanted the good things in life, and I felt that that was what my message was gonna be. You know, whenever I got to that point where I was rich, I was gonna have something to say. And
Yeah.
what I was, when I started the channel, none of that was happening. I just had a big desire to just share whatever. I like you can watch my first couple videos. One is like I went to jail over $1, and the other one was, it's just silly stuff. But I just had this need to come out, and that's when I started practicing the out of body state. And once I exit my body, it was like everything opened up in many ways, and I was already way open, but I started receiving messages and all that, and and the process of growing and changing and going deeper within hasn't stopped. Just today I spent all
Mhm.
day reading. I spent all day reading, all day building myself, because there's always more that we can bring um to the forefront
Yeah.
about things that we, because in reality it's not, we're not what we're doing is more taking, peeling off layers instead of building anything, because we already are
Yeah,
everything that we need to be. It's just that we have believed the opposite. So when
yeah,
you start, looking at the true you, I'm like, I have a clear vision of who that man is, but then
Yeah.
there's more layer upon layer. And so how does that relate to you, Fabian? And do you agree with that, that the work of remembering is an ongoing process?
Yeah. I mean, it's literally my life, man. It's I mean that word literally gotten so became so cliche at this point, but that's literally my life. I was just talking to a friend this week, and I think I mentioned it to Georgina as well. How I have to get more grounded, like to come back down to 3D a bit because I do have to live here, um, and I just want to like be up in the clouds, I guess, all the time. But you know, going through a spiritual awakening, I think the place that I am right now, I think I've recently learned how to come out of the clouds. But the fact that I spent so much time in the OBE state, I think it gave me a. I'm not even sure if I really want to repeat it, but I just I'm accepting that I need to be here and be okay with being here and love being here and appreciate being here because I did choose to come
mhm,
here. Um,
mhm,
and every time I leave, I get so much insight. I mean, um, I just went out last night again, and it was one of the more you know insightful OBEs that I've had in a while. I
Can
was
you
out
share
for
with
much
us?
long. I will share some, but I like to go back and listen to my tapes because I listen to I play I make like an audio um, message each time I come back. And this one I recorded this morning was about 29 minutes of me talking. It was so much that I came back with. So
Wow,
I like to really know what I'm talking about before because some of these things can be
that's
thought
fine.
forms too. You know what I mean? And but this I went deep and I stayed a long, long time. And it was a long time even here in the 3D because sometimes you get out, you come back, it's like 17 minutes. All it was like somewhere between 3 and 4 billion years when you go over there. But this time it was physically long. Here, when I got back, it was about 4 in the morning, and I went under about 11. So either I woke up, I went under on purpose, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up in sleep paralysis, and I got out that way. And it was a mixture of all three. It was like a lucid going into a, you know, uh, coming out that way, and it was just very. This one exhausts me, and a lot of stuff happened. And I'm not sure what it was, if it was past lives or future stuff coming in, but um, It really took a lot out of me, this one. Nothing scary, but it's just, I think it was a lot of stuff that I had to work out with some people here. One of the most important people that I have to finally work things out with. And I think subconsciously I knew I was putting that one off. It's my mother, because I'm very candid. I'm an open book. I don't hide anything, and I love everyone here. But to watch some of the souls that you love the most here in the 3D struggle with the demons, if you will, um, to watch them struggle with balancing the in-body experience, right, Bam? Um, uh, and at the same time, them not knowing that they're souls, it's kind of challenging sometimes to coexist. And I can deal with people for the most part here, but when when the people that I'm talking about, when they have the issues of dealing with the human experience, they can also, kind of slow up your process a bit because they're having such a hard time in the community. So that's something that I had to take care of, and I think it came to me in an OBE state where I had to say, okay, look at this and do it. So we had to play out whatever I need to do here now. We played it out in the state last night, and I'm not sure if it was a thought form or if they actually came to meet me there, but that was pretty tough.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
That's amazing. I think that the subconscious plays such an important part, in our, in our existence here. Like, like Fabian was saying, like we're in here, like guys, like, and hello to everybody who's saying what's up. I love y'all. I'm so excited that y'all are tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Like this is more for us than it is for you. We love doing this. This is what we do. We love sharing the message. Whatever the message is at the time, we know that it's going to be productive and uplifting, which is what we're here for. And that's why when I did that opening prayer, or that opening, affirmation, is that, we're cooperating, and it's not just the three of us, but by you listening, you're making that connection with us throughout the world, and spreading that light, and that light, and clarity. But going back to what Fabian was talking about, like I was a little messed up when I came back from my OB. Every time I come back from my OBEs, I'm like, you know what? I'm back at this, and it was frustrating because that is such a different. We belong in such a light place compared to Earth. Earth is just heavy. We don't get to fly. We don't get to. Um, I mean, the love is so conditional and so like, that it's hard to be back here. But like Fabian was saying, we're here, so there are things that we need to tend to while we're here, and it's a privilege. We get to be here. We get to be here. So I
we
mean,
get
I don't want to. Yeah, we get to be here. Absolutely. Like it's an honor. It's an honor to be here, and life gets really fun when we look at it as a privilege, and not just, oh, fudge, I
Mm.
gotta do this. So, G, what are your thoughts on that? Engaging in life as it comes.
Well, I've really, like, since my life took a complete turn at the end of last year, I've I consistently tell myself to keep trusting the process. Like I truly trust that I'm being divinely guided, and everything that happens in my life is for me. I've been able to look back at my whole life and realize the same thing, and it really puts things into perspective where, that you're not a victim. You're able to take more responsibility for your own actions. And it's like, almost you're able to spot the patterns throughout your life and realize how everything has led to this moment and why everything has happened. And it's our responsibility to look at those things and take them as lessons and learn from them, integrate
Yes.
those lessons,
Yes.
because we can sit back and feel sorry for ourselves or blame other people, but we are creators. So in taking responsibility, we're able to take, like, trust the process, take aligned action. And well, yeah, it's, I
Yeah.
don't know what else to say to that. It's
Oh,
just like,
that's
it's really easy to go into victim mode.
that's very good.
Um,
Yes,
but
very
I
good. That's
can't
very
blame
good.
other people, for their actions as much. And of course, like, I will not. I've learned recently that I have a habit of invalidating myself and gaslighting myself. It's happened my whole life. But I can hold compassion for other people, see their wounds, see why they have acted out, you know, in in that out of love, and have compassion, but also accept that, yes, certain things that happened was wrong. I was a victim in some sense, but it's not going to define me. I'm not going to identify with that. I can hold space, I can hold compassion for others, as well as compassion and love for myself. I can spot my own patterns and where I went wrong, and ultimately forgive myself, because I think, even with the whole, we have to unconditionally love, because that is the vibration that is going to, raise the frequency of this place, right? But many of us can't unconditionally love others if you're not unconditionally loving yourself. And
Yes.
a lot of people don't understand what it means to unconditionally love yourself. If you're catching those thoughts where you're beating yourself up, then you're judging yourself, you know? And if you're judging yourself, you're not loving yourself. And I've really tuned into, like, those thoughts, become acutely aware of when I catch, when I get caught in that loop, and notice that it's really an individual job. It's so easy to, even for us lot, like, and many in this space, like, we know why we're here and we know we've got a mission, and, we're helping others wake up. But you'll, when you get teachers or gurus in the space doing that, it's like, have you even done the inner work? Have you even worked on your wounds? Are you truly loving yourself inside? Because how are you going to preach and how are you going to give unconditional love to others if you haven't truly done the work? And that's when spiritual ego comes in, because you haven't fully integrated those lessons. You haven't fully, like, become aware of that part of you to turn it into love within. So it's not necessarily just about loving others. It honestly starts within first, being okay to be alone, being okay to be rejected, being okay to make mistakes, being okay to, like, look back and know where you fucked up, yeah, and being okay with that and accepting you for who you are. If people don't do that first within the individual work, there's no way you can do it to other people. You'll consistently you will go through life judging others, projecting on others without even realizing,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
When and just as grieving a loss in from another person, I think the process of forgetting who you thought you were, and accepting that you are a different person that you acted all along, that different than that. I think that's also bring a certain level of grief. And a lot of
Mhm.
times, I think when I first started, and I use that word because as you were talking, I looked at my journey, and I'm like, when I first started this channel, I thought I thought that I was ready to share, and I was, and I'm glad I did. But part of that unconditional love that you're talking about is having, like you said, that compassion for yourself in the midst of that process, which is not linear, but it's sometimes, like you said, you're gonna get on that loop of judging yourself and holding,
Mhm.
and having the victim mentality and holding others accountable for what's yours to do. So that also
Mhm.
is part of the process of letting go, and that's what you've been experiencing. That's exactly what you're talking about. It's been that process of, that that's what I thought I was. That's who I thought I was. But who I
Mhm.
am is this and that. And the more that we make those choices, I had to make a bunch of choices, lately. and and a lot of them make me feel real good, because you realize it's like, yeah, that's new Bam kicking up. That's Bam 2.0 kicking up. And it's very humbling. It's very humbling to
Mhm.
be in that place that you talk about, where there's, the book is written, the book is all written, it's been proofread, and it's coming out soon. I'm working on the intro right now, and all that. So the book is coming out real soon. But there's a in the book of humility, there's I wish I had it here. I have it on the phone. But it says, when the light of truth shines upon our ignorance, like, it has to do with it exposes that pride. Like, whenever you really, like, see have that awareness of, oh shit, it's not, what I thought it was. Like, that pride is really gonna be exposed, and then you make that decision: am I gonna learn from this, or am I gonna stay in my position of pride, saying, I got this, I got this. That has nothing to do with me. That's them.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, Fabian?
Yeah, man. Excuse me. You know, um, as far as my piece of the puzzle that I have to offer to the world, my message about being the soul's advocate, being a soul in the body as opposed to a body responding to all of its senses and just dragging the soul through life. Um, what I found, and as far as unconditional love, I just had this thought this morning. It seems like Georgina and I are getting the same download because she just said everything perfectly the way I imagined it. And I totally agree. Because as far as unconditional love, I think what makes it so difficult for us humans, or for the average human, is that number one, we were we're here in this place of amnesia, and we don't know the true power that we have, right? And it's like they put us. It's like we were placed in this kind of cage, and you get your natural stuff that you're entitled to just snatched away from you, like your basic survival needs snatched away from you, and then now you got to go and figure it out without that, or fight to get those things back. So when you take away the basic needs, imagine you take away a baby's food, or their bottle, and they need you. They can't get up and go get it for themselves, right? They need you to give that to them because they're entitled to it. Otherwise, the body dies without food, and so this is what it is. We're here searching for the things that we need, and then you don't even have the looking for your divinity now. It's like a luxury. It's like a luxury because you have to first think about how to get what you need. Man, I can't focus on
Mm,
that. Right? I can't. I wish I could come to church, y'all, but I gotta go get this money. I gotta do this. And you're
wow.
just trying to survive. So imagine just
Mm,
we're survival creatures, right? But your necessities are snatched away from you, so you're forced to live and survive. So you can't. Everything else that is our birthright becomes a luxury. Like, what do you mean? I gotta pay for apples? What's his name? Who said that? You gotta pay for grapes? What do you mean? So this place was originally created for play. In my opinion, we're supposed to come in and play and enjoy and just have fun in this thing that we created, right? And then anyway, whoever wanted to play longer, they changed the rules of the games or whatever. But here we are, um, you know.
What
but
happened, G?
no, no, but this is what it comes down to, and the reason why my opinion, the reason why unconditional love seems so far fetched is that we are all busy. First of all, we come to a place now where we're individualized, obviously, but it's all for self because I gotta survive, so I gotta do this. So caring for you and having empathy and extending my empathy for you, I ain't got it right now. I gotta get this money though, and it's about me and my family, and that's it. And then we separate, from one another, and that's caused a lot of suffering here. So as far as unconditional love, you just have to learn to love yourself more. Once you love yourself, because the work that I've been doing, I was just on this call this morning. It's like one of those retreats. I've been through all of the retreats and all of the stuff and all of the breath work and all of the stuff, right? I've been through all of it. And this morning I'm in the middle of this call and I got bored. In the middle of the call I got bored. Everybody doing their thing and they're talking to the inner child and all that stuff. And there's so many downloads coming to me. And I'm like, in the middle of the call, I turned my camera off because I almost laughed. I was like, am I fucking healed? Like this shit, it don't apply to me anymore. It doesn't resonate anymore.
Mm.
Have I been doing the work that well and these things don't apply anymore? And not to sound high and mighty and better than anyone, which I don't feel that way here, of course, but I was like, wow, I gotta give myself, put a pat on your back sometimes. It's like, okay, that's what it is. So you do the work, and once you love yourself, now you can naturally see what our natural birthright. You'll see that, okay, I have all I need. You only need one car. You only need one toilet. You have one ass, right? You don't need all of these different things that we think we need, right? All this luxury and stuff that we think we need. So once your basic necessities are covered, you know when you've had enough. Spiritual maturity is the real maturity. When you know you have enough, you can extend. You can give somebody who needs help, or and you can love others that way. And that's like Georgina said. You got to start with loving yourself. But in order to love yourself, you got to find yourself. Once you find yourself, you will see that you're somebody who's lovable, and you're gonna fall in love so deep with yourself. You're gonna find yourself crying by yourself sometimes, just crying like, "Wow, I've been ignoring me all this time." Like you're gonna really get
Yes.
filled with joy, and then you're just gonna naturally radiate that, and that's when you have the compassion for others. But like I said, the people I have to
Hmm.
deal with in my life, I don't feel a heavy thing to carry to deal with them anymore. I just love them from where I am. It only saddens me that they don't see the love that I have for them. They can't see it because they're so stuck in survival, and
Yeah.
that's the part.
That's that place that you're talking about is abundance. Whenever you fall on that place where where you are enough, I'm enough for this moment, then you enter a space of but where not there's no limit to what you can have, attain, and create and give, because now you're overflowing in love.
Yes,
And it starts right there. It really does
yes,
start when you look at yourself and you're like, oh shit, the good, the bad, and the ugly is enough. Because like Georgina was saying, like all of it, every you can't. I think I asked. We were having a conversation one day, and I'm like, hey G, if you could change a day in your life, which one would it be? And I started thinking myself, and I'm like, I can't pick one, because even on my worst days, like I survive it to be what you see in front of you today. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It might have slowed me down a little bit in my progression through this experience, but it still made me stay. I still landed where I'm at in North Carolina at 7:30 something speaking to y'all. So we can't, every part of the story was necessary to remind you of who you are today. And then when you get in that place, it's like, okay, so even the shitty times are part of that abundance, and you start accepting it, and that's what that self-love that she's talking about, because we're really not never while we're on earth. I mean, hopefully, I mean, I envision, for real, I envision a time where where we are all one heart, and when we are all have the empathy to feel for each other, and I envision that. I know that it's gonna happen eventually. But while we get there, we're still gonna experience that which we are not. So those times where we're experiencing that which we are not is still our experience, it's still our awareness. So when you embrace it, then you're in that abundance, and honestly, there's no limitations. Go ahead, Fabian, you have to say something.
No, I'm thinking about what you said, man. That kind of touched me a bit, man, because I think about that all the time. I think about that day all the time. You know, I've had visions of that day. And it touches me every time, man. And it's like, can we just get there already? What do we do? I know we can't take shortcuts, but it's like, no, man. It's a really emotional thing, man, when you think about it, man, because we are not supposed to be going through this stuff.
But we are.
But we
But we
are.
are.
I know. I'm not a victim. I know. But it's like, come on, man. Like, it's like, come on. Like, this is okay. I'm fine. I know we're doing what we're doing, and we're doing great. And we're actually doing better than we think. And the fact that I'm out of the victim mindset because I got out of the story. I have this segment on my show that I call "Ruin Your Resentment," which is to give you a broad view on everything objectively. Like, this is what you're looking at, and it's called "Ruin Your Resentment" because as people, we tend to enjoy our victimhood, and we enjoy our victim card because it gives us something. It's like I'm
It's
Jamaican,
addictive.
or I'm Jewish, or it's like my thing. You can't take my thing because who am I without my thing? And what do you mean? You don't know what they did to me, and that shit hurt. And I gotta be like this because they want an excuse to be like this because that's what's comfortable. That's what they know. And it's like, no, you can have your little toy, you can have your thing, but just look at this though. And it's like, no, I don't want to see it because it might change my mind and you might be right. And I'm just here to just ruin your resentment by showing you a broader perspective, like just to have you look
But
at things, you know.
and that's something that I wanted to add to this conversation, is that we are not a single unit. Like, we're not just one thing. Like, that's the conditioning. No, I'm gonna identify with my pain. Okay,
Yeah.
identify with your pain, but also
Mm,
identify with, like, I tell, like, one of the techniques for pain management and healing is, so
no.
if your head hurts but your knee doesn't hurt, bring your awareness to your knee and enjoy that your knee is not hurting. And by the time you're done thinking about your knee, your head is not gonna hurt anymore, because you took your focus from one part of you into another part of you. And that's where impatience, and I'm right with you. Like, I'm right with you, Fabian, because I bet you everybody that is listening to us right now feel the same way. We all have that vision. That's why they're tuning in. That's why that's why we're working together right now, because we all hold that vision of the time when all human come together into our the closing of this cycle. However, with we are we're not just here or there, we're everywhere, and we get and when we see that we're multidimensional, even within this life. Like, you're not the same to your kids as you are to yourself, or at work. Like, there's many layers of us that might make it what might that if we look into those other layers in due time or at the proper time, we'll make more sense of things. You know, as as a father, I have to be a little more. I guess I have a lot more playfulness and compassion, and I have different parts of me that come out as a father, and they come out different as a lover. They come out different as an entrepreneur, and I don't have to be playful with my clients. Some of them will look at me like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, chill." Like, we're talking bit. So the different. It's good to be that to have that awareness of who am I right now. I was talking to Jonathan, my son. He was struggling because whatever he does sales and he's young and he feels like he's very ambitious like I was, and he was having a hard time selling, and I'm like, how about you take your salesman hat off and put your 20-year-old hat on and take a day off and go do something, whatever. But he did that next day. He told me, he was telling me like he didn't even remember I told him that. He's like, Dad, I found out that I don't have to be the same person all the time. Like I can experience with different even personalities. I'm like, yes, and you should. The fact that you lock yourself into a box and condition and lock you into a box doesn't mean, like, look at, like, I seen myself on the other side. I'm tall AF. I seen myself flying, like taking off and just go, and I seen different versions of me, and that's still me. And there's different versions of you here on Earth. So, I know I'm being long-winded right now, but just internalize that. You don't always have to be like all gun ho about something. You can really like change your personality towards one that fits better at the time. And I don't think that's too hard. All you have to do is look at somebody that acts differently than you in that instance and ask or copy it, emulate the good things about them, how they work under pressure. Like if you're somebody that can even on the even with trying to come out your body, like listen to Andre and listen to other people that you can watch my tutorials, whatever. It's all about a mindset. It's all about understanding that you get to create. I was doing my friend was trying to get his license switch over to this state, and he is a very negative person. Nothing good happens to him. Like this motherfucker, everything, bro. I'm telling you, like, if a fucking bird's gonna shit, it's gonna shit on him. If he's walking around and it's gonna fall on somebody, he's gonna fall right at the tip of his nose. That's the type of luck he got. He fights with everybody everywhere he goes. And that day, I went with him to do this process of changing his license. So we had to go to a couple different places. Everywhere we went, there was no line. People were nice to me. Like, everything went smooth. We were done in like 2 hours. He said, "What the like? Huh?" Like, I'm like, bro, because I created that. You didn't
Yeah.
do it alone. You did it with me. I created that. I walk and that's what I expected. I expected, but I also treat people nice. That's all that's
Yes.
also your responsibility. You can't go with the old mentality. That's what I'm trying to tell you with this. Like, there's always somebody that can handle life or a situation a little better than you, and
Yep.
you gotta seek those examples out, and that is the goal, that you could be that example for your family, that when they want to look at somebody that is strong, that has that that fortitude, that they look at you because you're aware, that you are that which creates.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I think it boils down to not. It boils down to identity, like what you guys are saying. Even when you were saying about you know, you can have this personality and that personality. I wouldn't even call it personality because different situations call for different traits, and it's just simple adaptation, isn't it?
Yep.
It's fine. It's fine to. It's norm. It's a helpful human trait to adapt, isn't it, to
Yes.
whatever situations, and it doesn't make you fake. It doesn't make you not know yourself. You're not identifying with those traits or with the, you know, behaviors. And I think it's very important in this human life to not identify with your actions or your behaviors, nor identify with your mindset, you know, because as most of us know, you know, we're so much more than that. You know, our identity should be way above, like the vantage point, the perspective. It's our identity should be tied to something greater, something grander, our soul. When we are identifying with the human body, our possessions, our personalities here, and you know, these kind of things, or things we may have done. Like someone might identify someone as an asshole because they continuously act a certain way. That's not their identity too. Like adjectives that are thrown around, that's not your identity. Your race is not your identity, you know. And once when we're doing that, a lot of pain and separation, and you know, all the things that come with the opposite of being loved. Um, that's what causes the most turmoil on earth. You
That's,
know, it's the identification of that which you are not.
So what are we?
What are we?
well,
We're spirit. We are soul. You know, what kind of question is this?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We are
No, but
soul.
that's
But for
interesting.
people, maybe if someone's new here, like, yeah, we are souls having a human experience.
Yeah,
I am not Georgina.
yeah.
I am this. My name is Georgina.
Well, you're not
You
just
know?
Georgina. You
No,
have many hats. Yeah, you have many hats.
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't identify with them all. Like I, even me being a mum, it is a role.
Yes.
It is a role that I step into, and
Yes.
that's why I can adapt. Because
Yes.
you know, when I identified so much with being a mum, I actually ended up burning myself out,
Yep.
self-abandoning. I
Yep.
lost myself. So many mums lose themselves because they're identifying with being a mother, or maybe
Exactly.
it's the
Yeah.
same for dads, being a parent. We
Yeah.
are not that. That is a role we are playing or doing, right? You know, and that's how we shift. It's like CEOs. It's like they might act a certain way because they're like, this is me. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
no, it's your role, it's your job title. It's like, even
Yeah.
that's where all status and everything and hierarchy comes up in here. We don't have that hierarchy on the other side.
That's
We
true.
don't, because
I appreciate it.
we are all souls, and we are having a human experience, and we have the respect for each other to be authentic, to be. We are so unique. We are so unique,
You
completely
know.
different frequencies. There's no need when we you start thinking from that perspective, there's no need to compare yourself to other people. There's no need to identify with all the things that I listed earlier, you know. It just opens your mind in a whole different way to make you move on this earth in flow, I guess, or in your soul.
So
Yes.
how do you
That's
make
that's
that connection? How do you make the connection between between I'm not this. How do you make that connection? Because you at one time you told me like you just thinking like a human right now, Hector. Like Bam, you just thinking like a human right now. Why don't you think like a god for a minute? How do we make that connection in the middle of the shit?
tell us, Father.
How do we make the connection? Well, okay, first of all, the first thing we could do is obviously, so when we're in the midst of it all, in that moment, we're very likely identifying with our feelings.
Yep.
The first thing we do is, okay, not I am anxious or I am this, I am angry. I am feeling anger. I am feeling this. I am feeling this. What are my feelings? They are signals. They are signals to show me what direction to move in. You sit with those feelings, and that's how you process them.
Yes.
If you start identifying with them, that's when all the behavior comes from it. And then the thoughts come to, it's like
Perfect.
confirmation bias. The thoughts
Perfect.
come in,
Perfect.
and then you start acting out in anger. And then now
Yep.
I'm aggressive. I'm
Yep.
abusive and aggressive.
Yep.
It's like, no, 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 no. I'm angry and I'm not processing it properly. I need to sit with that anger.
Right.
Just for an example, you notice it in the moment, and then, like, without even attaching the story, you just sit it, feel it. If you need to cry, you cry. If you need to
Yes.
punch a pillow, you punch a pillow.
Yes.
I like to watch comedy because I'm still releasing endorphins, and it's like that's after I've felt it and sat with it, and it kind of just like will bring me up a bit. But it's I would say that's how you do it first. You have to just really notice in the moment, and that's why it's so easy to say. I remember when I was struggling, and I had all the tools, and I couldn't even pause. Like, it's so easy to say, allow for space, pause, and it is hard. But that's why I say it just takes practice, because I have been there where pausing and breath work didn't do. I don't want to swear, it didn't do anything for me, you know. But the more you practice it,
Yeah.
immediately, the better you get at it. And then you catch yourself, you're like, oh, I'm not breathing. Let me breathe. You know? Even
I,
you help me with that, Bam. Like, just
yeah.
breathing, reminding me to breathe, you know? It's like,
I can add
so
this.
it's,
This is. I'm sorry. You finished, Georgina?
yes, I am, thank you.
Okay. No. Um. This is good, and this just came to me really. This is just what the human experience is. Is first knowing that you're a soul in the body, and the
Mm-hmm,
body is a vehicle, and the body
mm-hmm,
has all these different features and sensors and shit going on in there. And if you come
mm-hmm,
in there, let's say you have this model that's been coming from 1490, right? The great 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 grandfather, and they did stuff this way, this particular way coming down. And now you incarnate and you get one of these bodies, you get one of these cars, like, okay, all right, let's see what's going on here. If you don't come in and identify with this bloodline and swallow everything, oh, we're Christians, yeah, I'll take some of that. Oh, we're this, I'll take some of that, and I like this. And now you have this identity. You're not, now you're trapped into this thing. So with all
yeah,
those labels and stuff, how you do that, how you bring yourself back home to remember that you're a soul, is breath, which is meditation. You have to have a meditation routine. You have to have a routine. I meditate twice a day, morning and night. And throughout the day, I'm doing stuff. I'm grateful that I have a job that my line of work, I get to be more of my, as you guys were talking about different hats earlier, imagine somebody perceive you as this asshole at work. But you're not really an asshole. You're just a person who, maybe you have a night job that you work with a lot of toxic people, and you go to work because you're still pissed off from last night. In fact, you can't control your emotion. You go to work with that stuff that you got, bestowed upon you last night, and you come into work with this. Why you like this? I'm sorry, it's because of this, it's because of that. It's the story you have playing, the whole time. And with me, with my job, as far as my job with my kids, I'm a dad, and me being a dad, I'm also a big brother because I'm a playful big old kid, right? And my kind of work, I can go to work and still be some of that because I work with people. I work with elderly people, so I can be some of that charm and some of that big heartedness that I have, and I can keep that going. So my work and home life, majority of my time, I get to be more of that I love. So people like me, you get to find me. I'm a little bit more calmer. I might seem happier, right? You might look at me and think I'm in my early 30s, and I'm not, because I laugh more and I always find reasons to laugh. But I've also had some of the toughest times in life, so it's all about I think meditation does that. Meditation brings you back home. It's like a pit stop. You go,
Hmm.
you run in a race and you stop, you change the oil, you change the this, you change, and you gotta take a break. You can't just keep running, you're gonna get overheat. That's why you get all these bad moods and stuff. And like Georgina said, of course, she's a great mom, but you go to work acting like a mom, they're gonna call you bossy. Like she always thinks she's a fucking mom, but she's a great mom at home. You know, her being like that at home is perfect. But you come to the job with that same hat, you're gonna be perceived as okay, she's controlling, but she's not controlling. If she put the same hat on at home, she's a perfect mom. And if she comes to work acting like, if she comes home from work acting like the bossy chick, her husband's gonna be pissed off. Like, why you treat me like that over here? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know how to when to take off these different hats while we're playing and navigating this human experience. I think that just came to me, but I never had that insight before. I didn't think of that before, as far as different roles that you have to play. And it's like, wow, this. How do you stay present? Is meditation, breath. You come back home to self. And remember, reset. I'm a soul in a body. This shit is just a dream. And this thing over here, we got to go do this. It's called a job. And at the end of the week, they give me a thing called a check. And I can create these different memories with this check with my kids. I could take them to Disney. I could do all this just to have a fun time here, or an easier time here. So if I have to come here and play a certain role, I do that, but I play the role knowing that I'm a soul. I don't go there and let the job suck me in. And no, I am me, and then I'm Fabian. And who's Fabian? In this office building, I play this role. And when I get out 6 o'clock, I leave that shit there and I go home and I'm my father. I'm a father here, and then until tomorrow morning, I'm this, and you have to knowingly, consciously do this thing. Otherwise, you're just a
Yeah.
body getting up. Coffee, body needs coffee, drinking coffee. Body drives car, okay, left lane, right lane, okay, you're at work. And you're just a zombie floating through life. And those are the people that create the most pain here because they're so
Hmm.
asleep. And
Yeah.
that's I think you said it before, Bam, that souls actually feel frustration too, even on the other side. I think that was either you or Andre. Somebody said that, but I appreciate that because I I don't like the idea of sleeping. Can we just figure this out? Like, what are we? Think about this. Don't just zombie through life. Come home, be present. You know what I mean? Be present and take charge of your life, and you can have a better experience here. But when you're responding to your senses, we're all here in forgetfulness, and we're all here being survival of the fittest, and we're all just, if you're trying to hunt to get the next meal, you won't cut anybody's throat to get the next meal because you're thinking about is surviving. So we can't just
Can
be
I make a
survival creatures.
distinction?
Yeah.
Actually, sorry to interrupt you. You said about responding to your senses. I actually prefer like to distinguish between a reaction and a response. So don't be reactive
Right.
to your senses. You observe and you respond accordingly.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's when we're in a reactive state,
Yeah.
running on autopilot, because we aren't aware and because we aren't being conscious and um, essentially being the observer, the human thing is to react because that's what our brain is designed to do,
Yeah.
keep us safe and that's it, and that's where the primal stuff comes in. But yeah, no, it's observe then respond, as opposed to
Yeah.
consistently walking through life reacting to everything.
And you're
So
creating at the
you,
same time from reacting, you're creating more of that without knowing because you are a creator. So these
yeah,
responses,
Yeah, that,
these reactions, each time you react, you create something because you're a god asleep at the wheel, and you're
but that's
creating all the stuff, and
when you told me the other day about what when that you actually see it on the other side. That really hit me, and that's really made me even more conscious. Like the idea that like certain thoughts, or even when you said gossiping, what it looks like on the other side. That's
oh yeah, oh
it's
yeah,
that people are creating spirits, or demons or thought forms on the other side that will impact your field and impact
yes,
other people's, and
yeah,
to be really aware that we don't see it, and that is how we are creating and how we are impacting this place as a whole as well. That that really hit me.
yeah,
yeah, I'm hearing a few. themes here. Number one, I'm hearing fitness, as in doing the reps in the morning, like he's talking about, like your meditation. That's fitness because you're setting space to separate from the reactive side of you. And so I'm also hearing courage, because a lot of times we want to do things just because we feel that it's our only option. But a lot of times we need to really take a step back and say, do I really want to do this for the rest of my life? Do I really want to engage in this way of living? Meaning you're earning, like you're earning a lot of times, you feel like this is all I know how to do, and your heart is pulling you so hard to let go of what you thought it was your path and have the courage to experience something that is more fulfilling, something that lines up more with what you came here to do. Um, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good, good. You're muted. Good. Thank you. That's awesome. Um, so I hear courage and I hear fitness. Um, I have a business too, and I work it and I make money, but my heart is not in it. I want to, get the book out already, then start having these conversations and have people read it and study it and go and spread the message. And I want to be in front of the camera all day, having these conversations because that's where. But it takes it takes courage. It takes getting out of your comfort zone and just doing it. A lot of times we overthink, we think too much. We allow this conditioning or this idea, like that we and the emotion that G was talking about. It's actually fear. That's the biggest emotion that operates when we're on that reactive mode. Is you're afraid of something. You're afraid of not being valued, not being seen, not being your needs not being met. But
Yeah.
when you take courage, and I'm talking because I'm in the midst of it. I just went through very rough times in life. That's why I was out of the that's why you haven't seen anything from me, because I was re um recalibrating my own life, and a lot of and then people fall off and people come into my life. But the bottom line is, like, I was talking to G yesterday, and I'm like, I need to go out and do something, and you too. So let's set it up. And and I hit Fabian up, and he's like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like we didn't we this wasn't like we took a month to plan it and be ready for a month from now. No, no, it was like, what, I have something internally pulling me, and we all have the resources to do it. It's just to have the courage to come out of your comfort zone a little bit and say, what, this is what my soul is asking me to do, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have the courage to. Not everybody's got to have a channel, but what I mean is that's specific to you. It's forgiving. It's having the courage to say, what, I'm gonna let go of this past, and I'm gonna forgive this person because I know that that's what my soul is calling me to do. And it could be, what, I'm gonna ask for a raise because I keep overperforming and I keep being undervalued. So no, I'm going to talk to my spouse because my needs are not being met. Or I'm going to, whatever it is that your soul is calling you to do. And sometimes, what, the more you resistance you have, the more life is going to keep on doing it for you, because it's time for, and that's the reason we're here. Like that, before we came live, that's what I told, Fabian and G. You know what I mean? I don't care what we talk about. It's going to be an open conversation. The important thing is that we speak from our heart, because this is what we're called to do. We're called to share with y'all. But you are, wherever you're at, you're called to share that which is within. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, we're really not learning much. We are actually unlearning things. The goal here is to really unlearn
Yep.
that which you're not. Because when
Yep.
we all unlearn that, hey, you know what, fear is really not real. I promise you, fear is fake. It's not real. When you really take it apart through action, it's not through thinking. It's not through fucking thinking.
Ah,
The more you think about fear, the bigger it gets. It's about
I
saying, you
love
know
that.
what? If I jump, if I jump, I'm gonna have fun on the way down. And I promise you, you will. It might hurt when you get down there, but guess
Yeah.
what? You'll be all right. You'll be all right. The worst thing that happened is like that OBE that you wanted your whole life.
Sorry, I said the same thing today. It's like,
No, I love that, man.
I mean,
I really love that, man.
Seriously, like, and the thing is that you can get really caught up in 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 the conditioning, because you know what, I've been going through therapy because I've been going through hard times, and my Carlos is his name. I don't even call him a therapist. He's a friend to me because he's such a great psychoanalyst. And what we're coming to see is that person that you don't can't seem to find, it's been there the whole time. It's just that there's other things that your mom told you, that your boss told you, that you told yourself, that the bully told you, that the rejection told you, that your addiction told you, that all of these things that you really thought they were true, they really aren't. That's just all the layers of limitations that are embedded in this realm. We came for that. We came for that so that we can become the example to freedom. So that you
Yes.
can
yeah,
say, hey man, I've been there. I've been there.
definitely.
I had every chain on the book attached to me. Like I've been imprisoned. But guess what? I'm taking the chains off because I don't want to. I don't, I'm not going to subscribe to that anymore.
Yes. And you know, man,
Absolutely.
you see what again, see, we come full circle. That's what it all boils down to, this one thing. Remembering that you're a soul in a body. All of these things, all of these feelings and stuff, is stuff that get lodged into the physical vessel that you're responding to each time. So if you come home to breath, the breath is pretty much a bridge to here, from here to the other side. That's the bridge. Breath always brings you back to center, always brings you back home. You know what I mean? And that's what you go to therapy for, just to bring yourself back to here. Once you say it out loud, you see the stuff that you're saying. It's like, oh, but if you're not present, if you want to hold on to the victim card, you're never going to get here. You're going to be in therapy for 15, 30 years. You just want to go there every week just to talk about the stuff and repaint that victim story. You just get room to talk about being a victim. That's all it is if you're
Yeah.
not paying attention. But if you really see what you're creating, if you really get back down to self, you'll see that you're the one creating it because you're responding to the last thing that happened yesterday. And you talk about it today and you affirm it when you're talking about it because you're a God and you're spelling these things over your life. Get out of the story. Know that you are a God in a body. But that's another thing. That's another programming that we got. That, we are little peasants down here and God is up there, and you're not worthy of being with him and all that stuff. So it's like that's that unworthy wound that we're all struggling with here. And the ones that gets enlightened, it's our duty to wake up the rest. And the other thing that I really want to say before I forgot is the the idea of what Georgina said earlier about oh no, use BAM. You said about uh you said something about unlearn, the unlearning. You ever wonder why some of the most empathetic or enlightened souls here, they usually have some kind of impediment, whether it may be a speech impediment or some kind of disability in that way. For me, it was dyslexia. It's just some kind of learning, disability where that's you did that on the other side before coming in here. Like I'm not gonna take on this because I don't want to be a scholar in this world to create this ego where I'm this big old CEO or whatever. I'm gonna go the other way. Because you imagine, because what is education? A person who will learn how to take some tests and they pass a lot of tests and they memorize a lot of stuff and they learn this world very well. And the more you learn this world and learn how to do all these different things and wear all these these hats, it's the further away you pull away, the further you pull away from source. because you create this
Yeah.
ego, this other thing that becomes your god now. So it's like me and my Bentley, and I'm a CEO of
Yep.
SpaceX or whatever. There's no
Yep.
God in your story. You are the God with this money that you have, and from all the stuff that you learn. So I think that's. I think we create. I think we gave ourselves that as a some kind of barrier to protect us from getting too, you know, influenced by this
And
world.
I think Jesus said it best. Jesus said it. You have to become childlike to enter
Uh,
the kingdom of, and that's really he was on point. Because if you go back a little bit further when you were a kid, like, you wanted to have fun. You wanted to be with others. You always wanted to be at the park. You always wanted to play. You wanted to we didn't hold grudges. We really, like, your parents treated you like shit, and you still went back there for their love. Like, we there's
oh,
so many qualities of a child that we and another part of that is, yes, we're not victims today, but we were victimized at some point. So it is okay to acknowledge that person who experienced that, and that's the only
Mhm.
way you move past it. Because if you continue, for example, my mom, this is very personal. My mom, her whole life, since she's very Christian, and she's done many, many, many years stable with that mind frame that, God is my all. But
mm,
it's an external God. It's that God that that he loves you because you're good enough. You know what I mean? Like, because you do
oh,
this or you do that, or it's that God. And guess what?
conditional God.
She's going through a crisis right now because she hasn't given herself the chance to experience that which she went through. Like, live it for a little bit. Like Fabian was saying, it's not just so that you stay there your whole life. You're not going to stay there your whole life if you don't process it, because it gets lodged, like he was saying. It gets lodged on your nervous system. Just because we are, and it's okay to be there. It's okay. You have to be okay with being there, because that's going to be acceptance, and then you can fully love yourself right where you're at. Like, there's no, you may never come out of that. Who's to say that life is not going to keep on kicking you in the balls, and that's how you're going to end your life? Like, I thought I was going to be a millionaire. I don't know what, I still want it because I know what I'm going to do with that. But
Mhm.
if I die today, I'll die satisfied, because, guess what? It's okay to be where I'm at, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's this vision of, and that's what God really is. Like, the God in you is a God that wants to experience. It's not
Everything.
perfection. It's not saying,
Yes.
I got there already. I got it all figured out. If if
Yep.
if it had it all figured out, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Now, it said, let me go and experience that through G. Let me go experience that through J Shar. Let me go experience that through blah 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 blah. It's not complete. It's not done. It's never complete. It's always,
Never.
how can I experience this as it is in the moment? And like, we said a lot. We said a lot. We should. Well, I'm gonna replay this live stream, because as I hear you guys, and this all keeps coming together, and it's gonna go back down to that soul is not perfect. That soul that you're seeking to feel is not perfection. It's not an image of perfection. It's imperfectly perfect. Gee, I see you. What do you want to say?
Incomplete. Yeah. Incomplete.
Um, oh, it's gone out of my mind now. I think it was when Fabian was saying about, like, I wanted to add, like, there's not nothing wrong with, experiencing this life however you want it. If you want to be rich, be rich. If you want to, like, any, I do not judge anyone for how they want to experience. Like the homeless person on the floor, like, they chose that experience too. It's not our business to be like, no, this is how you're meant to do it. No, it's not like that. That's not it. I think. when some people get into the spiritual space, we go, like we were talking about the other day, you kind of go into this savior complex. That's not actually our responsibility because you're messing with other people's experiences.
Yes.
It's just you doing what you know to do and living authentically and, leading by example, spreading out the love. And of course, when people are in need and you give and you give compassion, you give this, you give that, you give money, and obviously, of course, but I don't judge the people for their own experiences. It's yeah, it's that it brings it back down to acceptance, doesn't it? Like you have to kind of check yourself first before you're looking to fix everyone else in this space, and you know, and
Yeah, man.
and
I love that. I love that.
Well, Jesus said it too. He said it too. I'm a big Jesus guy because of his message. Like anytime I speak to a Christian nowadays, I'm like, the issue that I have with your religion is that you want to focus the whole dogma on its death. No, he should have still been alive forever with the message that he was bringing. Y'all kill him because he was really breaking the mold, and y'all kill him. But he said himself, "Why you looking at the dude's speck when you have a plank in your eye?" Saying like, be okay with your plank. Don't worry about his speck. He's probably doing a little better than you. He got a little more satisfaction than you, and you have
Yeah.
to look at them to feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
there.
oh, and
I
also
don't. I don't
this is
remember
this
that
is going to
part.
be
And I'm a
really.
Jesus guy too, but I don't remember that part. That's awesome. You gotta tell me more about that
I've
later.
been throwing things.
Wow.
you know,
Sorry. I was going to say when you were on the Jesus thing as well. It's like going back to our things that we spoke about before in terms of living authentically, and the idea of this is kind of bothering me, and I'm probably coming off of a tangent a bit, but it's like the idea that he sacrificed himself to cleanse like human sin and all that. I mean, I think it's a bit ridiculous. Like, sorry, this is going to be really controversial, isn't it? But it's like,
no,
why you need to stop this whole like the idea of sacrificing yourself because it didn't make any difference. Look at the state we're in. Yeah, so like, sorry, I'm not actually sorry. I'm not. It's the idea. This is coming from someone that has self-abandoned for so long, and I see it, and I learn it, and I've forgiven myself, and I've checked myself, and it's not about sacrificing yourself for the greater good of all. It's like again, I think that's a distortion because it's like in doing that you're not being authentically you, you're not truly loving yourself. It's another distortion to make us act a certain way, to give our power away, to consistently like burn ourselves out, be in survival mode. It's like that it's all off. It's all
No, I love
well,
that.
sacrifice the
Yeah. Yeah.
the sacrifice thing. That's from from the systems of control. They've been that's not
yeah.
even they adopted it
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah,
text.
that's what I'm saying. It's a
I
But
thought
if you
distortion.
so.
But
Yeah.
people
but
live
if
by
you
that. They
I mean,
live
but
by
if
that.
you look at what a sacrifice is. Look, really, really look at what that is. You have
Uh huh.
one innocent person sitting there getting ready to get killed. A bunch of people around celebrating. This is a
Watching and
this
celebrating. What the
brutal.
fuck?
It's
Yeah.
brutal. It's brutal. It's non-human. So we really have to go to our human. We really have to tap into because yeah, we are souls, but we came into these bodies because we needed to experience
And if you think about it,
this humanity.
if you think about it, damn, sorry. If you
Go
think,
ahead.
I love your idea of the IBE, the in body experience, and I've been looking at that a lot because that's pretty much what I teach too. Out of body, in body. But I love that. If in while driving these vehicles, of course they're survivalists, right? They want to survive. So if anything, they would survive even in a circumstance where there's no danger. They're still gonna try to survive, right? But what you said about sacrifice, I was just thinking about this earlier this morning. I was on the train. I was on the train. I was in Times Square. And I took a train, and I was so tired, man, because I told you the OBE I had last night, like really drained me. Like I never had an experience where it drained me. I woke up tired. So I'm really tired, and I've been hustling all week anyway. My feet hurt. I just didn't get any proper rest. And I'm sitting there, and my old nervous system, up until I'm 35 ish, right, was to do what they taught you. Let's say in a country like Jamaica, just like Britain, right? You're supposed to do the thing, and a man's supposed to do this, and a man's supposed to be like this, and what a man is supposed to be. And your nervous system is just wired to sacrifice yourself, put yourself
Mm.
last. I don't care about you. And I'm friggin' beat. But like I told you about the class I had this morning, where I feel like I'm beyond this now, where I can wean myself off of this. I had to wrestle with myself to fight that old template, that old guilt, that get up, man. This woman came on, let her sit down. And I'm like, I'm fucking tired though. Can I be tired? I want to be tired. I really don't want to give her my seat, but I hear my mom's voice and my sisters, and I know Georgina's not going to judge me. Like I know she's more balanced, but I hear all of the women who I might care about their opinion in my head saying, "Get up and be a man and let her sit down." I'm like, I'm fucking tired though. Can I be tired? Even though I'm a man, can I be tired? Right? So that's the thing we gotta. How do you deal with that? You have to sacrifice yourself and let the other person. I mean, I'm not saying don't give the old lady a seat. Of course not. I'm stronger than her, of course. But if you don't feel like giving it, you shouldn't be cast out as an asshole either, because you're allowed to be tired. Somebody else could get up and give them their seat. Somebody who else who's not as tired. You know what I mean?
But I'm
And you
gonna take
shouldn't
it
you
a
shouldn't
step
feel
further.
guilty.
I'm gonna take it a step further. Even if you are an asshole, so what? That's who you are at that, for real. Like that's who you are at that point in life. And when you accept that, something happens. Like like I was a thief. I went to prison. Everybody knows me in this channel. I went to prison for robbing ATMs. I did almost 6 years. I was a thief. when I
Yeah.
when I when I hugged that part of me, when I
Yes.
said, you know what, I'm a fucking thief. I
Yeah.
came out of prison and I'm still robbing shit. I'm still planning to go and rob an ATM. When I embraced that part of me and I hugged that part of me, guess what? I stopped. I don't take a fucking a screw, a nut, a bolt, nothing. I go. I pay for everything that I buy. Why? Because I
Wow.
accepted myself the way that I am, and then
Yes.
something within you says, "But that's not really who you are.
Yeah.
You're not a thief.
Yes.
You love that which you picked up along the way, so
Right.
that you can allow the true self to come in. And the things, like if you're abusive or you're like, love that person, and I promise you that those traits will fall on their own. You don't have to do no work after you love yourself. The
Yeah.
work is going to come to you, the people, the resources,
Yes.
the ideas for you to be abundant, because guess what? That's part of your story. If
That's a
I
part of
wasn't
the
a thief,
story. Yes.
if I wasn't a thief, I wouldn't be here. If I wasn't an ATM, you can look it up, Google it. ATM bandits in Jersey, 2010. It's real. We were that, but without that experience, I wouldn't go to prison. And in prison, like drop the religion and embrace spirituality. All that happened in prison. I was in a jail cell, like completely bitter against God. And I said, God, if you're real, show me that you're real. And you know what? God showed me I'm within you. I never left, and it's you. And I found that through that experience. If not, I wouldn't be here. I would still be running the Bible study, judging myself. And again, it's always layers that we have to like continue to unpeel that onion, and I continue to
Mm.
do it. But we're not in this alone. You all have to, like I'm doing. You all have to recognize when you need a little, and that's why we're doing this tag team here, because I feel that the more of us that come together to do the work as a
Hmm.
group, like we can amplify and multiply our efforts. So if at some point you feel that you need help, that you need to reach out and get somebody with more, and the book talks about that. We all have different memories, and there's going to be times in life where you're not gonna have the memory or the information to deal with that which you are faced with. Reach out, like close your eyes for a little bit, take a deep breath, and say, where do I go from that from here? I don't really have it all figured out. And the right video, like it's crazy how the algorithm happen. I don't know how your algorithm work, but my algorithm like is on point. Like I don't like Fabian knows. He's like, bro, you don't watch my shit. You never on socials, blah blah. And it's true. But whenever I go in, but when I go in, it it what I need is exactly in front of me. That's how I met Darius. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't I came out the body before I even got the ADA method. Just watching this shit, I knew my next step. And when I was meditating in prison, I heard the words hemisync. Like literally, I was in a meditation and I heard hemisync, and I wrote it down. It's in one of my old prison notebooks,
What?
and I completely forgot about that. And then that week, I got a book from some visitors that the lady was giving the book to the other lady, and I was looking at them, and I'm like, that's an interesting book. At the end of that book, which is um I have it here. It's a proof of heaven. This doctor that died, and he's heavily into the OBE now and all that stuff. But I got that book that week, and at the in the back of the book, he said if you want to practice the out of body state, get this hemisync tapes. And I completely forgot about that when I came home from prison. I should have just looked at my books and start practicing, but it took me almost 10 years from the time I left prison until I started exiting my body. But and I had to see Darius on YouTube out of nowhere. Like I didn't even watch Next Level Soul at all. He just popped up in my algorithm, and I'm like, I
Because you were
watched
ready.
that whole day out, that whole week because there is an intelligence which is our greater self, which is a God that is like experiencing, that is allowing you to see it, but it's all over you. You just have
Yeah.
to really
You
ask
see
for
it.
help when you need to.
You
Yeah.
you see it. You see it when you go out of body. It looks like spider webs. It's very interesting. It's like a trillion spider webs attaching itself to everything. Me, you, the gnat, the cat, the mosquito. Everything is connected, and it's like a formless. It's like an intelligent, formless substance that's doing everything and doing nothing at the same time. It knows who needs what when it needs it. And if you have a thought, like I told you, if you have a thought, I told you the thing I was practicing where I pinch the skin of my soul and I watch it ripple down and stuff what Darius told me to do. And I would watch my thoughts go out and it will bounce through the wall and it'll affect, it affect people in your, if you think about somebody, they might call you, depends on how hard you think about it. They might just call you the next day or whatever because they felt you thinking about them. Um, and I have many friends who have many synchronicities where it's like they call me while I'm calling them, or I'm about to text them and I see the bubbles of them texting me, and I'm like, "What are you about to say?" And we'll have a laugh about that. But you said something earlier that really caught me that I really want to add to what you said. Uh, even to say, well, I'm a thief, the same way I say, I'm a recovering liar, right? Me just living the 3D life and just not being my true self. Even the Bible talks about that. The 12 disciples in the Bible is 12 states of consciousness. The thief was Barabbas. The sellout was Judas. Judas has sold out Jesus. These are not people. These are states of consciousness. There wasn't a person named Jesus, and there wasn't a person named Judas. It's a state of consciousness, right? And the state of consciousness that Barabbas was, where he was a thief. Well, I go deeper into that stuff on my channel, but it's the state of where you are, because even when you're stealing ATMs out there, you don't know how many lives you save while stealing machines. You never know how. You know what I mean? And you happen to be at the perfect place at the perfect time. Let's say you're walking by with your trying to get your wrench or your tools or whatever to go do something, and somebody who's about to do something crazy or hurt somebody saw you walking, not even knowing that you're up to no good anyway, right? They're no good, right? And they see you and they back out of what they were gonna do because people over there, we can't do it right now, and they just back out. And somebody, what I'm saying, you never know. And when you get out of body, and I watch many near-death experience with experience stories of people who saw this from this level that I'm talking about, and they saw how everything is playing out perfectly. There's no good or no bad per se. Everything is all relative. Every single thing has its place here. Even the thief, even the liar, even the one who's out here. I mean, you have some people who are just going around creating mischief, yes, but they're good in that too, because the divine could use all of it. That's what God is. It's always stretching and feeling and learning new. There's no place that it won't go. It wants to experience everything at once, and that's what it
And
is. So
that's one of the lessons that or the layers that we came to unpeel here, and that's friction. On this realm, no energy is produced without friction, and that I could be, well, correct me if I'm wrong, you physicists, but in order for the oak tree to be, there's gotta that seed gotta break. We don't know what that seed is experiencing. We don't know what what the little chick is feeling as it's breaking through the egg or the cocoon, or the butterfly, the caterpillar inside the cocoon. Everything is going. Even for you to be here, there was some friction. Trust me, somebody was. There was friction
yeah,
from the time you came in. It was friction, the sperm going into the ovum. So all of it is a process of energy management.
that's
That's what
funny,
we
man.
that that's
Wow.
what we came. That's what we came here. One of the fundamentals of this experience is learning energy management. So if you
Yeah.
cannot handle a little friction in this place where it takes time to create, imagine when you're out of here putting worlds together and you really have to boom, you have no experience. So you're here acquiring or remembering certain. Well, there's also levels to understanding. So, but that's another topic. G, what's up?
Yeah. Wow.
I had a thought and now it's gone.
Oh,
Yeah, because you're eating all them biscuits and tea.
I was
on the
not
tea.
eating
Exactly. That's the
biscuits. My
biscuits.
sister gave me grapes.
A cup of tea.
Grapes. I could have done with some biscuits, but I don't have any
Grapes.
because I finished them earlier.
Grapes.
Yeah, grapes.
Yo, bam, bam, bam. You know that's awesome.
uh,
You just reminded me of something. You just unlocked a childhood memory of mine. I won't be too long on it, but when I was a kid, like 4 or 5 ish. We had my grandmother raised animals. We had cats, dogs, chickens, and for fun, not for fun. I was just a mysterious kid. Like I was always curious. I would take my grandma's radio part and put it back together. I would do all kinds of stuff.
same,
But
same.
one of the things I used to do, you just unlocked a memory for me just now. You said something about a caterpillar, and I remember when the chicken would be, a chicken is, breaking the egg to come out. I used to try to help them and break it open for them, and the ones that I broke out, they died.
They die. They die.
Oh yeah.
I never
They
said that
die
out loud
because they
before, but
need.
that just happened. I just remember
They
that.
die. They need to push through that.
They
That's
need to
part of the
pick their way
process.
out. Yeah.
They need that. So do you. So do I. That's why
Oh my God.
whenever you're in a relationship with someone, right? And
I remember.
all you want to do is like make them feel good, help them come out of that savior complex. Let me get you out of that crisis. Let me. No, you find your help. Obviously, I'm available to be your help, but come ask. Like, I'm gonna let you go through your friction. I'm not gonna open the shell for you because I'm gonna kill you. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
let you develop. If
And you're
you
gonna
go and
resent
you
me
open it,
too. Yeah.
yeah, if you go open, you see the you see the little cocoon hanging. You open it, you're not gonna get a butterfly. You're gonna get like slime falling up. You know what I mean? Like you go, you
Yeah.
help the acorn. You get a hammer and start breaking the acorn a little bit. You're not gonna get an oak tree. You gotta let the natural process in this realm to take place, and that's the same thing with your life. Like whenever we're in pain, we want to get the fuck out of friction. No, sit there with the
Wow.
friction. Sit there with the discomfort. That is what's helping you learn how to manage energy.
I love that, man.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, G.
Yeah.
I know you got you. It came back to you, right? No.
They came back.
It
Please
did,
come
but now
back,
it's
man. Please come
gone. It's
back.
like it's gone now. I mean, I
Jack,
know what it
come back,
was, but it
Jack.
was like it was when Fabian was talking, and now we've just moved on from there. So it's just like, it's
Oh,
like
I'll shut up then. Oh
no,
man.
no. It wasn't. Would have been afterwards, but then I forgot, and then I can't
Well,
even remember the point
maybe
you
we
were
could.
making.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
gonna
I
talk
could
about the
say it.
save.
I could say
Maybe I can
it. I
rephrase
may
it.
as well just say it. Let me just say it
Okay,
anyway. I can't remember your point that it was that made me think of it.
the chicken.
Um, it was about no, it was before then.
Okay.
Um, I think it was about like leaving people to do what they're doing. You know, the people that are asleep
Oh
and all
yeah,
this
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, like
Oh, the savior complex. Yes, the savior complex.
yeah.
Right, right.
Um, right. Wait. Let me. When as I mentioned earlier, when you kind of get into this space and you feel like it's your responsibility to wake up the world and wake up everyone, and what, and then we have to respect that everyone's having their own experience. Like there is obviously a chance that some people. That was your point about everything is playing out exactly how it's meant to, right? Some people have come here probably not to even wake up. They want to be in this experience. The our our job is if we are having the spiritual awakenings and we are waking up, we have to do that wholly and fully and balance that because if we were to imagine like the earth and these all these different like let's pretend all the souls that have come in to awaken, right, and they've deliberately chosen a certain life so that they can wake up at a certain time. Imagine them as little lights, right, like across the world. Every time that we end up waking up, you get a bit of a light, and then you get another one, and then you get another one. It's our job to wake up, remember who we are, and do that for ourselves because as we light up, we ripple out. As we're acting from that awakening, we ripple out. And then it's almost like these connections form with all the other people that were meant to wake up. So it's not us to get so frustrated with waking up others because when you're doing that, there's an emotional charge there. And then you're judging them when
Yes.
they might have not even signed up to wake up. It's
Ooh.
our job to wake up and remember fully ourselves, connect with those. And this is why, when you're in this spiritual space, I know a lot of people can relate to this, you feel alone. You look around your circle and you're like, there's, I'm alone here. Like, why does no one think like me? But it's because all of us chose to be in certain areas because we ripple out. We will end up affecting everyone around us. And even if they don't have that spiritual awakening or they don't wake up fully, it doesn't matter because we're holding the location that we are meant to be in. And then it's like, and then you just imagine this earth with all the lights like sparking up, sparking up, sparking up. And then by us acting in unconditional love, we raise the frequency of this realm, which will bring back, like, the original blueprint of this entire construct. And this is why it is it comes back to self responsibility as opposed to consistently projecting and getting frustrated with others, because then that's just separation again. You know?
Yeah, that's amazing. And
Amazing.
we don't really know. I mean, some of us had different glimpses of what we came to to do, but a lot of times your presence alone, that it's gonna attract that, and that's the goal. Like that's the goal, that you model. Who said it? I think Alan Tenderfoot. That you model it. Like human is always watching. Human is not always listening. Human is not always listening. They're not listening to what you say, but they're always watching. The human is always picking up on different cues and different things, that body language. A lot of what our communication is osmosis just by being around you. Like my father is one of the most people that you'll meet. Like everyone that meets my dad, they're like, he's so peaceful. He just brings that peace with him. Guess what? I seen him in my 44 years around him. I seen him lose his cool probably, I want to say a handful, less than than a handful. I mean, he got all that taken care of before he had me. He was hyper aggressive and all that stuff. But now what he brings around, what is it? Peace. If the whole world is if we're not if there's an earthquake right now and everything starts shaking, I can go out there and he's just picking up his book and walking around to the closest you know what I mean, the closest exit. Why? Because he's that model of certainty, of peace, of
He's a
what,
lighthouse.
everything is gonna be okay. And there's people that are modeling lightheartedness. There's people that are modeling courage. There's people that are, you don't get to model everything. Like, no, go ahead,
Yeah.
say it.
So, um, my my sister actually reminded me of something because I got really sad. There was an incident that happened. Um, a girl ran over someone, right? And it really hit me because it was like, I was just thinking like, there's so, when you get into that moment where you do feel sad for the bad things that happen, and then I went into the moment of, or the mind frame of, I just wish everyone would realize what they're doing. And my sister said, well, maybe they're just here for contrast. Maybe that's what they signed up for. They're
Yes.
just here so that people like you can know like what is out of love and what is love. So you can choose to walk the path that you're meant to be walking.
Yes.
Because there really could be souls that and this brings you back to compassion and no judgment for people, because there really could be souls that have come in here just to play that part,
Yeah.
to make
But
sure
remember,
that all
yeah,
of us do.
remember when you were that contrast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There were that,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
we were
Exactly.
that contrast to somebody else.
Yeah.
You trigger somebody else,
Exactly.
but now you
Exactly.
floating. Now you come out your body. Now you got it all figured out, and you forgot that you were that contrast to somebody else. That's
Yeah.
why
Exactly.
that's why you gotta love that thief. That's why you gotta love that liar. That's why you gotta love that hoe. Whatever it is that, and it's always a reflection of yourself. There's always a
Yes, it
part
is.
of you that you
Yeah.
get to see in somebody else. And that's when you say, let me stop. Let me see why is this person making me angry right now. You know what? It's showing you a part of yourself. It's showing you
Yeah.
a part of yourself, and that's the hardest truth to admit. Why you don't like in others is a part of you that you really need to like tend to.
Yeah. And that's why when you're that contrast, let's say in a relationship, that's why they have this famous saying, your next relationship is gonna be your karma. You go and be that for the next person, and that person's gonna show you what you just did for the last person. Because I might seem like this awakened guy, but there was a time where I was, pretty immature, and I was with a woman who was, had some years on me, but I was just being myself at the stage that I was, and I thought I was fine, But years later, after my next person, I was like, oh, is this what I look like? And I had to forgive myself and also forgive this person. Like, oh,
Mm,
they wasn't being too hard on me. Like this, I was very immature, and I have to give
yes.
myself that forgiveness and have this empathy for this person now, and
Yes.
just move, separate gracefully and say, you know what, it's so easy to hate people when you're in ignorance. You can just blissfully hate people
Yeah.
if you want to, but if you
Yeah.
know better, you can't. And that's the part
Yeah.
that's the part that sucks, because you have to soothe yourself, because you know
It's the
better,
first
and
time
I
I hear
know
that.
why you're like that.
Blissfully hate people.
Yeah, no, really. No, this is what the contrast of the world. This is what they're doing. They're blissfully hating because it's easy. We know better because Georgina, if you give that person that real anger, you're gonna create that. You know too much. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be
Yeah.
careful because you know that you're creating every moment. You can't blissfully go through the world like that because you know that you're creating the next
Yeah.
moment. And
But
whether
you
that
won't be
time
Exactly.
able to
delay,
do it. You won't be
You
able to
can't
do
do
it.
it. You will not do it.
Yeah,
You can't do it.
there comes a point where that's not an option, and I'm not, not everybody's there. Not everybody's there. And that's the point with this conversation. And we said it in so many ways, but
Yeah.
where you are at right now is where you need to be.
Yes.
Yeah,
Perfectly.
exactly.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you feel anger inside, if you have resentment, if you're the
Yeah.
victim, if you're all love, if you're all joy. It doesn't matter where you're at. That's where you need to be, because guess what? Tomorrow you might spiral a little bit. You're always gonna spiral either up or down. So you might be that again. But the thing is that you're never starting over. I was thinking about that because I want a beautiful relationship. I'm single now. To you, all you ladies out there that I'm just kidding. I'm, I'm
Goodness.
single now, and I
Don't
want.
look at don't look at me. I'm not looking for anybody right now. Don't look at me, Bam. Don't
Hey,
look over here,
hey, you
Bam.
never know. You never know. It's a weird world. You know.
Oh,
No, just kidding, just kidding. No, but I want. I really want. I want to, the connection and all that good stuff. I really want that for my life. It feels good to connect with somebody, to have a partner, to have somebody that you can do life with and build together. And I don't know where I was going with that. I was probably throwing it out there.
No, that's fine,
you
man.
just want
Why
ladies
not?
to message you.
Of course, of course. You're on live. Why not say it?
That was
Yeah.
your plug.
Hint, 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 hint. Anybody? Yeah. No, but that's awesome, man. And but it's good to enjoy the
It's
spaces
about knowing
and
what you need. That's what
right
it is.
and
That was the point. It's about knowing
learning
your
yourself
needs
again.
and where you're at the moment.
Right.
And it's
And
okay to
embracing
have
it.
those needs, and yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also
Thank you,
know
thank
what
you,
you're
G.
being faced with. It's okay. But also see and be present and observe where you're at, so that you're able to know, okay, are these needs coming from conditioning? Are these needs coming from wounds? Are the like
Yes.
what is it? Do
Yeah.
I what is my reality giving me now? Do I actually, does my soul need solitude? It's these kind of things, that you have to
And that comes with
also,
time.
like, that's
That
where
comes with time.
awareness really is important in
Yeah.
these moments. You know,
You gotta sit with it. Just that comes with time.
yeah,
Because if you stay with it long enough, your soul will come through and tell you what. And you might find that, hey, I kind of want to be alone right now. You might
I am.
arrive there.
No,
Yeah.
no, for sure. For sure. I
Yeah.
am right now. I
Yeah.
dated a couple times, not dated, but I've been in a couple dates and, it's just like, that's not what I want.
Because
I
that's the
want,
body. That's the body and the condition.
no,
And then your soul
that's
yeah,
can
not
be
what I
like,
want.
oh,
exactly.
I don't want this. But the body is
I
like, I
mean,
need to be
but,
dating because I'm single. I need
yeah,
to, that's
yeah,
that's the body.
correct.
Yeah.
But that shows that, we're all in this together. We're all,
Yeah.
we're like, then that's why I love this guest. We're about to wrap up in a few minutes, but I love bringing people, and that's why I switch everything to the in body state. I still practice the out of body experience because I think it's very enriching. And if you haven't had an out of body experience, don't give up. Continue to practice, continue to find the method that would work for you. But we're here to experience Earth at this moment, and you're needed. Your story, um, the story that you're telling is needed. However you're telling it. If you're telling it like we were saying earlier from an asshole perspective, it's needed too. You're creating something for somebody, an experience for somebody or yourself. Something needs to be worked out,
Yeah.
and that's okay. That's okay. Just be very very gracious to yourself, because that is the next
Mm,
stage of humanity, is empathy. The next stage of humanity is where, like, these other races and other more advanced beings that the human race as a whole, a lot of them already went through that process of separation and friction. They already understand those laws. But the next stage of us human is for you to see their pain and really feel it within, and you will become incapable of causing that pain to yourself and others. That's the next stage. Is to compassion. Is to suffer together. And I don't say it in that like let's all crabs in a bucket type thing. No, it's that you're aware that that person is in fact you. That what you do to them, you're doing to yourself.
And yeah, when you leave the
Um,
body, when you leave and get out of here and you go to your life review, even if, let's say you go when you drop the body or you go to an OBE state, you're going to feel everything that the other person feel. And that's when you're going to know that you're one. Because you're going to hear yourself, whether you're talking to them or giving them advice or beating them down or whatever, you're going to hear it from their perspective and yours, and it's going to be one. It's going to be oneness. That's one of the deepest pains that I ever felt, really, when I left and I saw somebody on the other side who's still here with me now that I had resentment towards, and I realized how much I loved them on the other side and how I've caused them hurt, I caused them pain here by withholding love from them, and that crap broke me down, man. I came back out of that thing crying from
Wow.
holding love from that person, and it's really tough. So, we are one. We're here in forgetfulness, and that's why it feels so easy to hate other people. But when you leave here and you go back to that place where you can feel their emotions and we talk telepathically, we don't need words, you're going to see that you feel what they feel, and
There is there's so much love available. I just wanna if you haven't watched that video where I came back from the heavenly realm and my uncle gave me a hug, Tio Paco, like
uh,
I cried too. When I came here, I was just sobbing because I'm like, I am so stingy with my love. Like I am so stingy with there's so much love available. Like there is and this is not love is not a it's not smushy. It's not like a thing. No, like like what the way they portray love. Love is a substance like that's the substance that Fabian was talking about earlier, that it's within everything. It's like a web that holds it all together. When you um realize that you are that which has the ability to share that strength, that creative power, because that's what love is. Love is what holds it all together. That's the substance where everything stems from. So, don't be stingy with your love to yourself, and don't be stingy with your love to others. Like you could really you could grow some balls and hold your emotions for a second and allow for other people to have their pity party, and you can hug them and you can really be of support, because you could do it all in this life. Like there's nothing a human can't do. But what's gonna bring, in my opinion, the most satisfaction is when how we started this conversation and Fabian was talking about that surplus. When you have that abundance of love, like there's nothing trumps that. So I know that we're about to wrap up. I didn't want to go over 2 hours, so if y'all have something that you want to leave the audience with, where to find you, and a final thought, and then we close with another affirmation. So go, G. What you got going on?
I I don't really have much. I don't have, I thought we were going to do the Q&A. Um, yeah, no, I'm just. You'll put my details in the. I think you put the details in the description anyway, didn't you? I'm going to start posting soon and getting some stuff out there. So yeah, but that's
G, G
all I've
G
got to
does
say.
pendulum work. G does pendulum work.
mhm.
Um, she's
Yeah, I
got
do one-on-ones to help activate intuition, tarot, and if people did want to learn how to use the pendulum, I do one-on-ones for that.
Sign me
But
up.
it's more about learning practicing your discernment and intuition and activating that. But yeah, like it was. I just enjoyed the conversation. I'll see if anyone's got any questions. But yeah.
Yeah, if
Um,
there are any questions, we'll do it. But I'm just, yeah. If there are
yeah,
any
still,
questions, just
still a
put them in
final
all
thought.
caps.
Um, I mean, what I could leave everyone with is it's really simple. My message is always, you are not your body. That's the key thing to having your own respective utopian life here. You are not your body. If you boil everything down to that, you will see that that's the root of your happiness or your unhappiness. It's you are not your body, and the world around you is going to give you things to trigger that body, call it emotions or whatever triggers you. If you react as opposed to slowing down and responding, like Georgina said, um, you'll find that you're more so in control than it. That's the body, and just be a soul. That's what we are here. So
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
uh,
I feel like we covered quite a bit. It's really good. But the way we could talk about so much more, I've already got a whole list of other topics that we have to talk about next time.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get it all
So
out
let
there.
But we did really
yeah.
well. Like we covered a lot, especially about self-love. It is so important, or and authenticity, because that's the root of it all, isn't it? When you're able to be yourself, stop people pleasing, stop self-abandoning, that's that's when you can truly walk on earth in unconditional love.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I'll second that, and I'll second what Fabian share also. So that true self, that authenticity is what you are right now. That you are being that which you need to be at this moment. So be okay with that, and whatever character flaws you find in within that, they'll dissipate as you embrace them, because that's all they need. They just need to be embraced, and that's the example. Everybody wants to, and a lot of people is afraid of some galactics and some races that are more aggressive and more ignorant, but all they need is love. All they need is to come out of their ignorance and embrace their love, their loving nature. And that is what you're showing anytime that you see those character flaws. You're just seeing those that are way way further than you. And as you model that self-love, they're gonna watch and they're like, oh, I can't make them scared anymore, so let me learn from
Ah.
them. And that's and
Yep.
that's and that's the goal, that we
Perfect.
become that which embodies true love. But I'm gonna close with same way we open. So let's take a couple deep breaths. So when I say I am here, here I am, I'm just cementing my presence within this realm. So, and then I open doors and close doors. So that's the reason I start this affirmations like that. I am here, here I am. The doors that I open, no one closes, and the doors that I close, no one open. And I open again doors to clarity, that everything that was spoken here is coming out of a place of truth, our truth, and whatever resonate with the listeners and the speakers, may it grow roots. May we don't leave it just as another video that we watch, but that we start incorporating some of these things in our life, so that we can accept who we are, where we're at, and that we continue to grow in cooperation. That we not only seek to take from others, but that we seek to let our authenticity and our light shine, and that others can hold on to the fortitude that we have. And so it is. If no one told you
Beautiful.
that they love you, I love you. All right, guys, we're gonna do this again. We'll give you a little more. We'll promote it a little more next time. But yeah, the beginning of beautiful thing.
Thank you
We're
so
done.
much, Bam.
You're
It's all
welcome.
a success. Everything is a
I
success. It's all
appreciate
good.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for being available. Same to you, Fabian.
Of
Much
course,
love.
man. Appreciate it,
Thank
man.
you, guys.
We're
Bye,
out.
everyone.